In the previous tutorial, I felt like I didn't show enough about the capabilities of threads. So this video is going to be showing some of the extra capabilities that threads have. The one example that's used with threads is a sleep method, and this allows a thread to sleep for a specific duration of time before it wakes up and picks up its process again. So let's test out the sleep method. All right, so here I created some code that allows us to extend the thread class. And basically what I'm doing right now is I created a thread object, and that thread object is going to call the start method, and then I'm going to run a for loop that calls the sleep method and makes a thread run 5 times. So let's try it out in the code and see what's happening. All right, so here we see that we're outputting the thread is sleeping after every 2 seconds from that sleep method. We're able to see that once we start the thread, then after that we have that for loop that runs 5 times, and every 2 seconds the thread will output the thread is running using the run method. So that's a simple example of being able to utilize sleep. It's very useful when you want to delay a certain time, and that sleep method is called in the static way, so you don't have to create an object call that sleep method. So another thing we can do is being able to get as well as set the priority of the threads. So let's do that right now. All right, so I created 3 thread objects, and what I'm going to be doing is getting the priority of those threads. The initial priority, which is going to be 5, as well as the priority that we set. So let's do that right now. All right, so I created the code to get the current priority of the thread when it's initialized, as well as the priority after we set the priorities. So let's run the code and see what's happening. All right, so we ran the code, and we see here when we initialize those 3 thread objects, the initial priority is 5, which is pretty much middle priority. So after we set the priority, the thread 1's priority is normal priority, which is 5. Thread 2's priority is maximum priority, which is 10, and thread 3 is minimum priority, which is 1. So the higher priority, the higher the number, the higher the priority. And we see that in the output where the first thread is 5, second thread is 10, and third thread is 1. So that's a simple example of being able to get and set the priorities. And the priorities will allow the threads with the most priorities to be able to take priority of that specific resource over the other threads. Although it doesn't guarantee that it's going to always get that resource. It's kind of a probability game, but it's more than likely that the threads with the higher priority are going to be able to grab the resource more than the lower priority threads. So that's another quick overview about threads. There's definitely more to threads than I even went for this tutorial, but this should be good enough to at least get you started with threads. So just play around with threads and you'll get the hang of it. If this video was of any value to you, then please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.